Once upon a Monday afternoon, all my work was done. My phone's battery was dead. I had nothing left to do. I don't have a book close by I can read. So guess where I wandered off to? The kitchen and the refrigerator. I got a nice little pack of cookies in the back of the fridge. You know what? 1 cookie, 2 cookies, 3 cookies, all gone. How familiar does this sound? That's the thing. Boredom is such a big thing nowadays where we try to avoid it at all costs. And for many of us, guess how we escape boredom? We go eat something. But have you ever thought to yourself, maybe boredom isn't such a bad thing? Boredom is actually a very healthy and natural response. For thousands of years, boredom is something we all experience on a daily basis. However, in our fast-paced world, we are so used to being constantly stimulated. Our phone is always with us. We always have a screen, always something to keep the mind busy. The thing is why boredom is actually good. When we are bored, it gives the brain the ability to just think, to come up with novel ideas, creativity, new ways to look at a problem, new ways to solve a problem. The brain goes into a different state where we can pattern recognize better. But the thing is, for many of us, it's that we aren't stimulated, that we have nothing to do, that we can't stand it anymore because we are so conditioned to be constantly stimulated over and over. Every 2 minutes, you pull out your phone. Look around you at a traffic light. People in their cars on their phone. People in a queue on their phone. People walking down the streets on their phone. Watching TV while they are on their phone. What does that stimulation constantly mean? The moment we are unstimulated, we feel discomfort. We have this emotional distress. We need something to keep us stimulated. And for many of us, the easiest way then is to go and eat something. And usually when we need stimulation, the foods we go for are usually the sugary ones or the fatty ones because they give us a little bit of a dopamine spike. And it's this feel-good neurotransmitter that entices us. The next time we're bored, go do it again. The next time we're bored, go do it again. So now every time we're not stimulated, we get that little dopamine from the food. And guess what? We just conditioned ourselves to avoid boredom even more. And food is such a lovely escape for many of us. However, this is a short-term fix. The pleasure fades quickly, leaving us a feeling of guilt and often still being bored. Over time, this can lead to unhealthy eating habits. And guess what happens to our weight over time? We get bigger and bigger and bigger. So what I'm going to give you as a starting point on how to start breaking free from boredom, 4 tangible tips, and they are: number 1, embrace boredom. Allow yourself to be bored. Use the time to reflect, meditate, or simply let your mind wander. You might be surprised by the creative ideas that emerge. Number 2, find new hobbies. Engage in activities that are fulfilling and interesting. This could be anything from painting or hiking to learning a new language. And you'll be surprised how many people I sit with in my private practice and I ask, what are the hobbies? What do you do for fun? They have none. It's just work, eat, sleep, being stimulated nonstop, social media, Facebook. Get back going with some hobbies. Hobbies are a great way for the mind just to relax, but we're still keeping busy. Number 3, limiting your screen time. Set specific times to use your phone and stick to them. Turn off unnecessary notifications that constantly pull you back to your screen. You know that little vibrating in your pocket. So many of our phones are on silent, but constantly we hear that vibrate in our pocket and immediately we think, what was that? Who sent us the message? What is that social media notification? What's that email? And whatever we were doing, we constantly got yanked from that. And guess what we are focusing on yet again? Our telephones. Put it on silent, put off notifications, and just be for a little bit. And the 4th one, practice actually mindful eating. Before reaching for a snack, ask yourself if you're truly hungry or just bored. If it's the latter, find an alternative activity to engage in. This is where we can start questioning and building the awareness. Am I now just going to eat something because I'm bored, or am I wanting to eat something because I'm actually hungry? If it's the bored, start thinking, what activities can we start doing instead of eating? Maybe reading 2-3 pages of a book, maybe going for a 5-minute walk, even just maybe listening to some music or engaging in your hobby again. It's trying to then, if boredom for us is still a big anxiety-inducing activity, okay, Instead of food, think, what can we replace the food with? And every time we're bored, if we do that activity, it will become easier over time. And as always, I'm going to leave you with some introspection questions, some questions where I want you to sit and really think about them, write them down, and start seeing the pattern, start thinking about how this is affecting you. And the 4 introspection questions are, number 1, when was the last time you allowed yourself to be bored? How did it feel? Number 2, what activities can you engage in that might help you embrace boredom rather than avoid it? Number 3, how often do you eat out of boredom? What alternatives can you try when the urge strikes? Number 4, in what way can you reduce your dependency on your phone or stimulation? But remember, unless we start building the awareness, cultivating the change, for many of us, boredom is such an uncomfortable state, we are going to try to escape from it because you are constantly stimulated. And then when you're on stimulated, food, due to the dopamine pathway, becomes a little pick-me-up, that little, oh, I just feel a little bit better, I'm doing something. What is the price you are paying for that? And many of us, even myself, I fall guilty to this quite often. And this is where I'm going to ask you a favor. If you found value in this video, I would really appreciate a thumbs up or a subscribe, and share this video with somebody that you know likes to eat due to boredom, that avoids boredom. Because unless we start changing it slowly, becoming aware of it, it's very hard to break away from those automatic patterns, those automatic habits. And as always, be 1% better today than you were yesterday.